Welcome back, guys. So in this video I'm going to be talking about graffiti. As most of you guys know, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I love my street art and graffiti and things like that, and if you follow me on Instagram you've seen plenty of them. Well, today I'm going to be talking about political graffiti, basically far left graffiti and far right graffiti, basically. So let's dive on in, shall we? So yeah, during my travels, be it around Britain or Western Europe or even here in Cyprus, I see quite a lot of political graffiti. Um, but when I came to Cyprus, the amount of political graffiti that I've seen is, well, through the roof, let's say. I've never seen it as much as I've seen it here, basically. Literally every street you go down, you will find at least one or two bits of political graffiti. Um, I would say a lot of it is far left, but there is quite a lot of far right sort of political graffiti as well. You'll also see areas where the far left have put something up and then the far right have come along and sprayed on top of it, or the far right have put something up and then the far left have come along and sprayed on top of it. You see that quite often as well. But let's have a sort of little look at some of the things that I've seen on my travels while wandering around Cyprus. So as you can see here, we'll start off with the far left. You get a lot of these sort of the A for the anarchists and whatnot. You get that all over the place, really. You also get a lot of this fuck the police graffiti. Now this one is the big one, ACAB. You probably have seen this everywhere. This is a heavy Antifa tag, basically. This wherever Antifa are, you will find this tag, and you will find this tag everywhere. And basically, you're probably wondering, if you don't know, what does ACAB stand for? Well, it's simple, really. It stands for All Cops Are Bastards. That's because the far left absolutely despise any form of authority and the police and things like this. Kind of like the far right in a way, with their hatred for the police and the authorities, basically. And a lot of times you will see ACAB with some numbers as well, 1312. It's kind of like the far right's 1488, and you know how the far right get in trouble for, you know, the 1488, and the far left love to cry foul over it and be like, white supremacists and all that crap. 1312 is basically the far left's version of it, and again, it is code for ACAB, which is All Cops Are Bastards. So yeah, of course you get them everywhere. All these different types of styles of how they've written it, basically. But the message is always the same: all cops are bastards, anarchist symbols, and of course communist symbols. The hammer and sickle. Not just that, but like you can see in this picture here, this one is not often, you don't normally see this one, but this is, the good night white pride sort of graffiti that they've got, where it's a guy kicking another guy and then it says good night white pride. Sorry if you can't see it very well in this picture. It was up on a building quite high, and I only had my phone with me at the time when I took this picture, so unfortunately it's the best I could do. But you get that every now and then. It's not as common as the ACAB or the 1312. So let's have a little look at some right-wing graffiti, shall we? So as you can see here, we have variation. I can't remember the name of this symbol here, but you get that quite often as well, with, of course, the Nazi swastika as well labelled. You get that quite often, quite everywhere pretty much. And of course, mainly when it comes to the the far right, they just stick to symbols. They don't really write words up. They don't really write numbers up. They just stick to these sort of three main symbols, as you can see on the screen, the swastika and these two that my mind is completely blanking on me. But this isn't just the only reason why I'm making this video, because the other day when I was on my travels, I was on a bus just heading to work, and I seen some graffiti on a bus, which, I mean, it's a bus. You're going to see graffiti on a bus. It's very, very common. So let's have a quick look at this graffiti, shall we, of what it was I seen on the bus. So at the back of the bus, there was basically this, as you can see here, two types of political graffiti on. And one of the things I found quite funny, actually, is on the far left side of the image is the far left's graffiti. And then on the far right side of the image is the far right's graffiti, basically. And as you can see here, let's start with the far right. We've got a swastika. And of course, we have some numbers as well, which you can see. It looks like a 2 and a 4, but it's meant to be, 1488, because that's their favorite that's their numbers for the far right, rather, for their Hell Hitler, basically. Then on the far left we have again All Cops Are Bastards and the 1312. Now the reason I'm making this video and I'm talking about this today, what I found very interesting with this image and these this graffiti that I seen on this bus was that I personally think it was made by the same person. I mean, yeah, I could be wrong, and it just could be that two people have come along and done this. But the reason I say I think it's done by the same person, as I went up to it and actually looked at it, the colour of it, sorry, you can't really tell, but the colour of the ink that they've used in the pen looks like the exact same. Also, the writing style also kind of looks like the same. Mainly when we look at the ones, if you look in the antifa on the far left side, the one looks very similar to the one on the 1488, which made me think that it is. Not just that, but there's no real discoloration at all. And of course, the colour was completely identical. Now, I could be completely wrong, and two individuals could have just rolled up and done this all by themselves. But, I just found it extremely interesting that these two bits of graffiti, political graffiti, are both at the back of a bus, on the far left and on the far right of the buses, left and right, and they're in the same colour, and the similarity to the letters makes you wonder if this was actually done by the same person. But really, when it comes to this, all I want to say is stop fucking dirtying up the buses and writing graffiti all over the place. Jesus. I mean, I love my street art and that, but there are places you can go and do that. Don't fucking make the buses a mess and do things like this. We don't need this. This is not on. But I would really like to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that this was done by the same person? Or do you think that that it was two individuals that have done it? I'm going to put these images all up on Imgur so you can actually look at them properly yourself, and there'll be a link to that in the description down there. So if you want to go look at them in their full resolution, then you know where to go and have a look. But yeah, I found it very, very interesting, and I love looking at this sort of stuff. But I really do think that this was made by the same person. But yeah, like I said, I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that it was made by the same person, or do you think it was two other people? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, I will do another video like this, talking about graffiti that I've seen, but this more so the political graffiti as well. I've also got a sort of a collection at the moment of stickers that I've seen posted up around not just Cyprus but also the UK, and I'll be doing a video on that because I find them extremely interesting. So that will be coming up soon. But anyway guys, as always, a big thank you for you stopping by and watching this video, and a massive thank you to everyone who helps support the channel donates to me via Patreon, Subsribestar, PayPal, or buys my merch on Teespring.com. And as always, guys, till next time, peace!
Hi.